Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing something very exciting for me. We're going to be doing my entrance. It's been such a mess for so long, I decided it was time. And as you can see behind me, some of the terraforming has already been done at this point in the video, but we're just about to go back in time. Let's get right into it. So this build took place over several days because I was so busy with work and just general indecisiveness about what I wanted it to look like. And I just wanted to give a shout out to the Wild Horizons Discord peeps because they really helped me keep motivated and were just generally kind to me during this build. A balloon there. I've been trying to get all of the autumn maple and mushroom DIYs. Have you guys already got all of those? Because I still don't. From the beginning, I knew I wanted a diagonal bridge right at the entrance, as I had seen several other people's just like that, and just, it looked simply gorgeous. One thing that was really difficult for me was how close the residence service is to my airport. I know other people's are much closer, so I shouldn't complain, but darn it, I just wanted to cover it up as much as I could, so it wasn't the first thing you could see as you entered my island. I didn't know at the beginning of the game that you couldn't move it, or that it would even become a plaza, so I didn't know what to look for on the original map when I first started the game. I certainly didn't think it would be a problem. So I wanted to give it a kind of forest feel by putting a bunch of both cedar trees and the usual hardwood trees. As my name Mori does mean forest in Japanese, I thought it would be good to include, a forest, at least of sorts. Also, what you can see in the background here was my original villager town area. At the beginning of playing Animal Crossing, my main aim, I guess, was to kind of get good friends with all my villagers, so I wanted to have them all in one area so that I could talk to them easily every day, and also so that in my head they could all hang out together and have a good time. So this used to be a small town with a little park in the background where they could just, sit and relax. So up until this point, I've kind of been not struggling as such, but I never really came up with a main theme for my island. It was kind of cottagecore, it was a little bit Japanese, it was a little bit, may I say, British, I guess, kind of cottagey, and a bit of nature put in there too. But I had an inspiration during this build that I'd really like to include more Studio Ghibli stuff. So I'm going to be focusing on not necessarily making a completely themed island around it, but I'm going to be adding little bits here and there in this build and doing areas of Studio Ghibli kind of themed things like Totoro and Princess Mononoke and things like that. I think my next video will be a villager hunt because Bam is moving out very soon when I'm recording this video. And I'm going to be looking for a Studio Ghibli themed villager. I'm not going to put anyone in mind. I mean, Kiki is an obvious choice because, she's a reference to Studio Ghibli in her name, and also she is clearly Gigi from Kiki's Delivery Service. So that, or maybe I'll get one of the wolves as a Princess Mononoke vibe. We'll see. It's going to be a much more relaxed villager hunt. I'm really looking forward to it. Anyway, back to the build, and as you can see here, I kind of skipped a step. I think part of my footage got corrupted or lost, where I made that back area you can see just behind me here. Also for this build, I've picked up lots of new custom designs, which hopefully I'll get around to putting in the description of this video. Fingers crossed. So I play around with that log for a bit in several different areas in this build, but I just can't find the right place for it. But I just love the wild log bench. But I guess just not for this build. I'll find somewhere else on my island for it later on. This is the first time I've used one of the dirt paths, custom designed dirt paths. Before now, I've just been using the cobblestone looking wild paths, and I've really liked those, but I felt that it was time to hop on the bandwagon and make it look pretty like everyone else's, obviously in my own style. And I just love how this bridge turned out. It looks so pretty. The Japanese style bridge is just, I love it. So here I grab a street lamp, and I really like the color of this one. It really goes with almost the bark of the tree, so it really goes with the kind of natural look. But I find that street lamps always remind me of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I mean, it's in the story, but I just think of Mr. Tumnus's house, and just kind of gives it a fantasy feel, even though, you know, street lamps are pretty standard things all around the world. And here I didn't have room for a tree, so I wanted a statement piece, and I love the moon. The moon is just so pretty. So I just felt like I wanted to make it a big feature here. You can see Diana and Eric running around playing in the background. Such cuties. And another item I really like is the tiny library. And also the log stakes. I feel like that really gives it a foresty edge that I really like. And I know it's a common item to use, but I don't see that many people using them that often. I love them. Even more than kind of like the barbed wire fencing, which is great, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of my favorite kind of fencey thing, even though it's not a fence at all. So with the flowers, I was just going for a kind of natural, but a little bit colourful, because I do like a bit of colour in my builds, but kind of just an organic flowers you'll find on the side of the road vibe. Again, trying to make the log bench work. This part of the main entrance really gave me a lot of trouble, because I just couldn't find a way to properly block off the resident services. So I put all those for simple panels up with custom designs on, just to see what I liked. So as you can tell, I haven't made a decision yet, so I've just put it off and I've started doing the path instead. So I really enjoyed using this path and think it looks really nice. But the only problem is that it doesn't really have an end to a like single block thin path, if that makes sense. There's no end to it, so you have to end in a kind of blob, which is fine. It just is quite annoying for some of the smaller spaces. Like, for example, there, I can't just end it there. I have to continue it into a blob. Next, I work on this kind of feature area. I quite like how that looked, but it was just a bit too large, a little bit too tall for the area. So instead, I decided to go for a more mushroomy feel. And again, just trying to make a decision. So indecisive. I really like the mush log. I know that some people have been saying they prefer the normal log, but mush log is super cute. Another favourite of mine is the country fencing. And with these simple panels that I'm just putting in now, I was trying to give it the connection between the tiny library and this pile of books at the front and a kind of library setting at the back. I did think about trying the bookcase itself, like the actual item, but it just didn't look right. And same with these simple panels. Spoiler alert, I also don't really like those either. Me just checking in again. Yeah, this area just really... I was struggling. But I feel like I'll get there in the end. As you can see, that's my first custom design right there. I made the kodama? Yeah, kodama from Princess Mononoke, the things that make the like noise and like move their heads, which I think is supposed to basically represent the forest spirits, right? They're representing kind of general forest sounds and yeah, the general power of the forest, I guess. So during this bit, Deirdre and Diana just really want to distract me. Sitting in the way, looking adorable, talking to me. Just, you know, generally being there. Marshall in the background there too. I mean, I get it. I'm just irresistible, but I've got work to do. So in the area I'm currently designing, I was originally thinking about putting a bench and the bus stop in Totoro, but then I thought maybe I would give it a more secluded area because in the movie it is more of a secluded road rather than in the open like this. So part of this I really wanted to have a kind of really rooty area to look a bit like the mangroves of the Princess Mononoke area, etc, etc, but I really didn't like the first lot of roots, even though it was more clearly roots, so I guess that's an extra custom design slot I have open, which is really exciting. I really love this puddle. I think it's going to look really nice in winter too, because they'll kind of look like frozen little lakes maybe, even without a change, because they're just so blue. I started this build before the new update, so I hadn't upgraded my storage, so all of the stuff that used to be here is just on the beach, laying around in a mess. Oh, look at Diana just sat there, so adorable. I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I just love the destination signposts. They're so cute. I love so many items about this game. That's why I enjoy playing it so much. So I'm just trying to find the right combination of things to put here. The right height. The barrel was a little bit too high. I'm just doing a little bit of decoration up here. I discovered that the leaf pile is more than 1 by 1, so I couldn't put it up here, which was my original plan. I love the look of the barrel. Can you customize the color of the barrel? Have I ever tried? I'm very curious now. I'm gonna look it up. Okay, no you can't. Useful to know though, useful to know. So I put my little kodama down here, again, because I'm just gonna have them somewhere. And they're just chilling up here. With my barrel and the flowers. Watching down on the world. Got my little decoy duck. I absolutely love the decoy ducks. And as usual, I'm hoarding everything, so I'm constantly full of random items. Another duck. And I feel like this area needs something a little bit more something. A little more something. So I try out the mountain standee, but it's a little flat, so. And just re-adding the books. just dropping some mushrooms to add some texture. And as you can see in the background, because it is 1 or 2 days later, there's mushrooms just growing in the background. And here I'm adding the mossy garden stone, or the books, or the mum cushion. I decided on the rock because I just wanted a little bit of height in that area, because I couldn't have the top part curved in any way if I want to keep the moon there. So just to not distract from the straight lines, but just to add to it, really. Also, the mossy stone and the bars are slightly offset because I just can't have anything symmetrical. For some reason, I just love asymmetry. Of course, elsewhere I see it done beautifully. Symmetry, I mean. And I decide to do a little bit of a picnic area up here. So I just thought, you know, on those days where you just want to watch the clouds, you can just come up here and relax in the sun or munch on some snacks, as I do anytime I can. So I'm really trying to find a home for this tall lantern because it just gives off such Japanese Spirited Away vibes, and I really like the height of it, but it just doesn't feel right at the front. So I replaced it with the tiny bookcase again. And I'm just deciding between the 2 different types of books, the old stack and the normal stack of books. And more decoy ducks because I love them so much. I mean, you've got to catch them all. You've got to get them all in there. Every different type, of course. There's no way the build would be complete without them. Again, I really want to put these tall lanterns down somewhere. As you can see, I tried putting them at the front at first because I really feel like it makes it feel more like Japan. But it's just a bit too big for this area, I think. And just quickly trying to see if a different thing like a well would look good there. So you can see Eric's house and Marshall's house behind there. Eventually those will not be here. That's just temporary. So I decided to give it a bit more space for the pagoda. Cute little Molly in the background there and Eric. Molly is about to sit down exactly where I need to put things, of course. She's so adorable. I can't stay mad at her, even for a second. As you can see in the middle, I put the wrong tile down, but I thought, well, you can't see it, so it doesn't matter, but you can kind of see it. I was very tired at this point. And again, Bam's house won't be there. I just don't have anywhere on the island to put these houses at the moment. So just behind here, I'm thinking that I'm going to do a little secret, like, Totoro nook, you know, where he sleeps in the tree. So do like a kind of super treed area, and then in the middle you can see from above a giant Totoro sleeping. That's the plan anyway. We'll see what actually happens. And I decided to add a bit of a barbed wire fence. And you can see Marshall in the background thinking of either leaving or wanting to talk to me. So I'm just on the safe side, just ignoring him. And I decided to add some butterflies just to give it a bit of a more mystical or fantasy, fairy kind of edge to it. Nature, adding more nature to it. Again, Molly and Eric being cute and in the way. Excuse me. I think my favorite leaf pile is probably the yellow leaf pile. What color is your guys' favorite? I do like the maple one, but the yellow one just feels so full to me. Yet again, checking on everything. Adding little touches here and there. So I'm just putting down some bushes and more designs. Just trying to flesh it out a little bit more. And you can see Gulliver sleeping there. Sorry, Gulliver. I just love this flower pattern. I may have overused it a little, but it's just so pretty. I feel like the blue flowers will still come through the snow when it eventually gets here. I've been trying to avoid looking at people's places with snow. It's very hard because Instagram is just full of beautiful snowscapes, but trying to keep as many spoilers away as possible. I really wanted to use this tile somewhere. I think I'll use it later on, but it didn't really go in this area for now. Another puddle. And my final thing that I absolutely love. I was going to design this myself, a little, in Japanese, makurokorosuke, soot goblin? What is the English for it? I don't know. But holding his little star that he wants to eat. Yeah, I found that design online when I was just about to make one. So adorable. And will definitely be featured on my island in many places because it's just so adorable. So here I was like, you know what it needs? More trees. So I extended it and added a mini tree. I tried a mushroom up here. And I just went back to the old favorite of, more trees. Just trying things out, and Molly and Eric again being super adorable behind, having a great time together. Also, in this build, I have horrific drift, so if you see me putting things down in the wrong place or just generally wandering to the left. Actually, today I received some isopropyl alcohol, which is like 99%, 100% alcohol, which I've put, rubbed into the joystick, and it works perfectly again. Oh, so happy. I can't believe that it was that simple. So anyone who has the drift, I definitely recommend trying using isopropyl alcohol. And it's not very expensive either. Obviously be careful with whatever you do with your Switch, and if Nintendo can fix it for you, that's even better. This was just my solution to the problem. Just the finishing touches left now, and I'll be back when we're done. And here it is. So there you have it. Here's my new entrance, and I'm really happy with it. There's obviously some room for improvement as I find new items and so forth, and as my island evolves. But yeah, I love coming into my island now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Also, sits.